And it is against this backdrop that today I call for the immediate resignation of the current board of the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago. The circumstances that have unfolded under the stewardship of this board are deeply troubling and cannot be ignored. Firstly, I want to share with this country and members of the media that the Children's Authority now finds itself mired in a serious financial debacle, with liabilities dating as far back as 2020, reportedly reaching in the vicinity of $77 million and counting. Such an alarming financial position did not arise overnight. It is the product of prolonged mismanagement and a glaring failure of oversight at the level where responsibility properly resides, the board. Secondly, there are credible concerns regarding frivolous expenditure and inflated hiring practices, which have compounded the authority's financial distress. The inevitable consequence of these actions has been the authority's inability to meet its obligations to critical suppliers and service providers, placing operational continuity at risk. I want to share with you something, but let me get it here. When I speak about frivolous expenditure, I was looking at some of the authorities' expenditure, and we have children to take care of in this nation. And you heard my colleague say the children are of utmost importance to this government. I have some expenditure, just some expenditure from the Children's Authority. And as you would know, security services, janitorial services, they are of critical importance to the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago to ensure its operations continue on a daily basis. Apart from that, you have other items which I would refer to in a bit. But I want to share with you that security services, owing in the sum of $19+ million. That's one firm. Another firm owing in the sum of $4 million. And these, as I said, are as far back as 2020 coming forward. But what I find very alarming is you have the employees to take care of. We are owing, and when I say we are owing, we are now in government, so we are owing. You have the gratuity payments, $8 million+, staff health insurance, and our staff work very hard. And I know many of our staff at the Children's Authority, they have been awaiting me to speak. They want to know what's happening with their health insurance and their gratuity payments. Well, today I share with members of the public staff health insurance being owed in the millions, 1.5+. This is just some of the outstanding expenses. We call it aging summary of the Children's Authority. But we are not taking care, well, previously under the last government, these are outstanding payments, as you would hear, the date which I mentioned from the last government coming forward. So we are owing security services, we are owing janitorial services, our staff health insurance, our staff gratuity payments. But the Children's Authority, despite the fact of owing all of these monies, would have purchased one ice maker, unnecessary expenditure, $343,000. This I find ridiculous when I saw it. Why is the Children's Authority purchasing an ice maker in the sum of $343,000? When we came into office, we were faced with issues where some of our centers had no food. My parliamentary secretary is here with me today because we are dealing with the Children's Authority, and she's specifically focused on that. And we had to, speak to suppliers through the PS and the authority to ensure that our children are fed at these centers, and we are here buying these unnecessary items when we have the children, the nation's children to take care of. But what I want to share with you thirdly, and perhaps most alarming, and I want you to listen carefully, are reports that the Children's Authority failed to remit statutory deductions to the National Insurance Board, which is NIS, and the Board of Inland Revenue, despite these monies being deducted from our employees. And I said to our employees who are waiting us to speak on this, well, I'm sure they will be listening today. This is most alarming to us. I want to share with you that statutory deductions, inland revenue, there are penalties for that when you deduct, but you don't pay it again. Millions. As at September 2025, 6 million plus for Board of Inland Revenue, BIR. National Insurance, 4 million plus and counting. I've asked up to Friday for us to get an updated list because we have been trying to work with the authority to try to pay these items because it's so much being owed. But I think what would have transpired, I don't want to preempt anything, but because it's the Children's Authority, some may have thought that, monies will continue to be allocated, but we must account to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And I will share with you that failure to remit statutory payments is not an administrative oversight because the Children's Authority receive an allocation from the Ministry of Finance, and of course they receive releases. This raises serious legal and ethical implications and exposes the institution, and by extension the state, to potential litigation and reputational damage. These matters point to a pattern of governance failure that cannot be dismissed as isolated incidents. Further, the recent actions taken against the former Chief Executive Officer, CEO, including disciplinary proceedings, suspension, and the ultimate termination of his services, raise serious questions about timing and intent. These measures were only undertaken after the ministry initiated the intervention of its internal auditing unit to examine the authority's financial affairs. One cannot escape the troubling perception that these actions were reactive rather than responsible and designed to create the impression of corrective leadership, when in fact the board had presided over the very conditions that necessitated intervention. Equally concerning is that upon the installation of the new government, when prudence and good governance would have dictated that the board make way in the interest of institutional stability and public confidence, the members chose instead to retain office nearly a year thereafter. This decision has only served to prolong uncertainty and further undermine the authority's ability to function effectively. The Children's Authority is far too important an institution to be weakened by institutional inertia, governance failures, or misplaced priorities. Its mandate is nothing less than the protection of the most vulnerable children in our society, a responsibility that demands competence, discipline, and moral authority. I want to share with the nation today and the media that the Ministry of the People, Social Development and Family Services remains firmly committed to strengthening the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago so that it can fulfill its statutory mandate with integrity and effectiveness. However, meaningful reform cannot take root where confidence in governance has been fundamentally eroded. Therefore, in the interest of restoring stability, rebuilding public trust, and allowing the authority to move forward under leadership capable of meeting the demands of its critical mandate, I call upon the present board again of the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago to tender their resignations with immediate effect. Before I conclude, I wish to place on the record my profound appreciation to the permanent secretaries and the technical team of the Ministry of the People, Social Development and Family Services, who have worked diligently and with unwavering professionalism to address the issues surrounding the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago. I will share with you that daily, our financial unit, the technical team, and both our PSs assigned to the ministry, they are working with the authority to get supporting documents so we can pay some of our critical suppliers. I acknowledge the collaborative engagement of the Ministry of Finance, our Minister of Finance, and his technical team, whose partnership has been instrumental in working towards the resolution of the financial and administrative challenges that were inherited. Note the important word inherited with regards to this important institution. This call is not motivated by political convenience. This call today is motivated by solemn responsibility we bear to the children of Trinidad and Tobago. Our children deserve institutions that work. Our children deserve leadership that is accountable. And above all, our children deserve a system that places their welfare above administrative failure. This government, remains resolute in ensuring that the Children's Authority is placed on the path of transparency, sound governance, and operational stability. The protection of our children must never, ever be compromised. I thank you.